when the water goes down, the whole place will look dry. And at the floor of the ground, the marshy ground, you find periwinkle scattered everywhere. Then when we come from the village, we find these periwinkles, especially when the water is down and dry. We can now pick them for our food. The rainy season, during the dry season, or as soon as the water is dry, because the water comes in and goes away.
Now I want to put it in my basket. I've already finished picking the entire. So I want to put it now. I want to wash it to remove the mud so that it will not spoil. So this is how we wash it after picking it. So that is what I'm doing now. After washing it like this now, I will put it in my bag. I wash my bag. This is my basin. I wash it. After washing it, I now pour the pan inside. When I pour this, I start going. When he will not remove it like this, if you use it in that after soup, he will not soak it after the cooking. So that's why you remove the bottom before we put inside soup.
In an environment, it's important to make decisions about where we pick the periwinkles from, because they can also bring some danger to our health. Now they are herbivores, they feed on plants, things like algae in the water, in the immediate environment. But in some of our environments, we've got our waters polluted. And so you find that some places where they picked periwinkles in those days, now you can't find them. You can only go to the deep sea areas to find them because they are dead because of high salinity. And when there is no food available for them, these pollutants kill algae, green plants, and so you find them scarce in the shores in certain places that are heavily polluted. And so when they eat, they have to crawl out of their shell to eat these vegetables. And when they crawl back, they pull some mud into their shell, some mud and other debris in the environment. That's what's important to make sure that the environment where you're picking your periwinkles from is clean. And this is what the scientists will help us do to determine, because if you have too much concentration of something like lead in your food, it's dangerous. And there's a lot of lead in our environment now, particularly on our shores and our rivers, especially in the Delta area, because of oil pollution. Lead is all over the environment. This is dangerous for our health. If you have too much lead in your system, then you are going to have problems. Not only you, your offspring. If you have too much lead concentration, you will pass it on to a fetus that is developing in the womb. And it could result in various kinds of birth defects. And one other problem that comes with it is autism. The child mental system will not function properly. Sometimes they don't talk very well. Autism is a very important concern now in our environment. And those that teach in special schools, I will tell about that. So be careful that you're not picking your periwinkles from an area that is laden with lead. And this is very important for our riverine people. Then again, we talk about the way it is prepared. Some people pick the thing with needles. They wash it, pick with needles, either fresh or partially cooked, and then they pick with needles. I will think then other people just make a little hole on the tail or the posterior side, and they now boil it or cook it and suck it. I would not encourage that method because, like I've said, when the periwinkle crawls back into its shell, it drags a lot of things back with it. And if you are sucking, and it happens to come from a very polluted environment where you have too much lead, you're going to suck that also, directly from the shell, not from the skin of the periwinkle this time. Both ways. The periwinkle gets polluted with zinc, and then there will be some in the shell because of the way it moves and so on. So that sucking type is not encouraged. So it's better to prepare it properly too. That's to pick it and so on. So some people set it dry, they dry periwinkles, others do it fresh. And we want to encourage those who prepare these things and sell to be very careful.